So this is the normal curve, like 1 through 5, and you should draw this. You should. It's not going to kill you. So we have the mean. We have the mean plus a sigma of x. Mean, and of course I'm low on room here, so I'm not going to go all through be able to write everything. Now, those guys are 34 and 34% respectively. We add another standard deviation, we get 13.5 and 13.5. These little pieces are 2.35 and 2.35, and then tails are 0.15 apiece. So what percentage is below the mean? Well, that would be half your curve, 50%. Above the mean, the other side of the curve, 50%. Within 1 standard deviation of the mean, that is going to be these guys, which is by definition 68%. Because remember, the rule is it's the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. This is the mean plus a standard deviation. This is the mean plus 2 standard deviations. And this is the mean plus 3 standard deviations. I've literally seen EOC questions like that. And, you know, lots of kids miss them. And it's that simple. All right. I'm not going to do any of this one. Let's do a couple of these. Which of the following sampling techniques identify the following sampling techniques as cluster, stratified, convenient, simple, random, systematic, or self-selected? Let's see here. To analyze ethnicity, a researcher starts with a random file from a recent census, then pulls every 1,000th file. That's systematic, no doubt. Oh, I cannot spell this morning. To estimate student performance on a recent benchmark, Mr. Milbrath assigns numbers to each person's name and uses a random number generator. That is simple random. This one will, come home for many of y'all because you use it. The owners of Goth-Math, which is ByteDance, who also own TikTok, want to know the age of their users. They enable the phone's app to turn on the camera and analyze every 15th user's face. P.S. You did actually give them permission to do this when you installed the app. You are literally being watched. And that is definitely going to be systematic. All right. Let's do this one. Of course, I'm missing some text here. What's the text here on that one? That's 13. $1,800 freshmen were admitted to GRU this fall. Scores were normally distributed with a mean of 520, standard deviation of 90. So we have a mean of 520 and a standard deviation of 90. That means we're looking at 610, then 700, and then 790 if we just add 90 as we move left and right. 520 minus 90, hopefully is 430. Minus 90 again would be 340, and then minus 90 again would be 250, right? This is not a very good looking bell curve, but I'm going to put my percentages in, 34 and 34%, 13.5 and 13.5. These little slithers are 2.35% apiece. And the tails are 0.15 each. Now, what percent of students score between a 340 and a 700? My eyes real quick are telling me that's 2 standard deviations. It's all of that. 2 standard deviations of the mean is 68%. What percent of students score between 430 and 700? So that's going to be these guys right there. Right? That's 81.5, I think, if you add them up. I'm just adding 34 plus 34 is 68 plus 13.5 is 81.5. What percent of students scored below 430? It's going to be that way on to the left, which is what, 16%? Yeah. Above 700, that's not much. That's just those two pieces, 2.5%. Below 520, we're looking at everything on the left. That's half of it. That's 50%. And then above 610. So it's going to be these guys right there, which is also 16%. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's see, this says given the dot plot, but it should say given the histogram. I don't know why it says dot plot. Calculate the mean and standard deviation. Label the mean, standard deviation. Sorry, label the mean plus the standard. Yeah, they want you to label some things. Anyways, it's all right here. So, you can do this by making a frequency table. That's going to be 45, 47, 49, 51. Let me fire up my TI-84 here. You can tell I'm struggling this morning. And I'm going to have to do this off the side because my calculator is going to be in the way here. It looks like 45 happens twice. 46 happens once. 47 happens 4 times. 48 and 49 happen 5 times. 50 happens twice. And 51 happens 3 times. All right, cool. We're going to go to stat. We're going to go to edit, and you should be playing along, by the way. A lot of you will not. I can't fix that. I'm already pretty agitated. I was looking at some work that was turned in, and there's no work shown. Boy, that aggravates me. You tell me you doing this in your head? I don't think so. If you've been in my room, you know I don't accept stuff with no work, and here it is. We've been in school since August, and we still think that like this is an online class where you just turn in answers and somebody says, "Oh, you're so smart. You know how to use the Goth app. I'm going to pass you. I'm not just going to pass you. I'm going to give you an A because you're so smart." But yet you know absolutely nothing. Oh, kids. What happened over here? 2, 1, 4, 5, 5, 2, 3. I don't know what's up with my stuff here. All right. Now here's something cool you could do if you wanted to. I don't know if I've shown you this in class. I've already got my plots on. You can actually take a look at the histogram. See, I've got it selected over here. Zoom 9. And there's your histogram. It's kind of interesting. But anyways, if I want to know the statistics, stat calc 1 variable statistics, notice I've got the frequency list there. You'd have to hit second 2 to put that there. And then we hit the calculate key. And here's my stuff. All right, so what do we have here? We have a mean of about 48.27. We have a standard deviation, that's sigma of x, 1.71. All right, so 48.27 minus 1.71. Of 46.56. Let's do plus the standard deviation. .98. And then we just have some questions about normal distributions. What percent of the data is within 1 sigma of the mean, or 1 standard deviation of the mean? That's 68%, kids. Why? Because the distribution is approximately normal. Yes, it is approximately normal. Now, if I scroll through my calculator here, let me run back through the stuff. I bet we'll see that the mean and median are very close. So the mean was 48.27, the median's 48. I know that the mean, let me say X bar, is close to the median. That's my justification for it looking somewhat normal. It's one of the big ones. And that's your homework on 11.4 day 1. I hope it made sense. I guess we'll find out.